How's it going, everybody? For today's beer review, we're going to be taking a look at Stone Brewery's Imperial Russian Stout. So for today's beer review, we've got something incredibly special. This is Imperial Russian Stout by Stone Brewing Company. Now, obviously, an Imperial Russian Stout's a kind of special style anyway, but from what I have heard online, what a bunch of people have told me, Stone's Russian Imperial Stout kind of sets the bar for all other Imperial Russian Stouts to be compared to. This is supposed to be one of the best. It is considered world class, I believe, on Beer Advocate. It's something I've been saving for quite a while now. This beer comes in at 11% alcohol by volume, so it is massive. It is the 2014 release of this beer, and the description on the back says, Stone Imperial Russian Stout. Stone Imperial Russian Stout is so thick, rich, and, well, sinful, you might feel certain that you will be doomed to the fiery pits just for thinking about taking a sip. It almost seems evil. Rest assured, however, that our ever-faithful gargoyle has done his job well by successfully warding off all evil spirits. In fact, we guarantee that no sin was committed in the production of this seemingly pernicious brew. We will admit that we use copious doses of decadence in creating the viscous beauty that you have before you, but no actual sin. You'll have to add that on your own. Brewed in the authentic historical style of an Imperial Russian Stout, this beer is massive, intensely aromatic, notes of anise, black currants, coffee, roastiness, and alcohol, and heavy on the palate. This brew goes where few can, and fewer dare even try. The style originated from Tsarist Russia's demand for even thicker English stouts, or ever thicker. Expect our version of this mysterious brew to pour like Siberian crude and taste even heavier. That sounds awesome. So I'm looking for a super viscous, just burnt motor oil viscosity in the mouthfeel. I'll be drinking this naturally out of the Duvel snifter glass. So without further ado, I'm going to take this cap off carefully, because I don't think I have this one yet. And we'll see how this is. Lots of smoke just came off of that. I can literally smell chocolate from here. Straight out, the color pours. An extremely dark brown color, almost jet black. I'm going to pour this really hard and aggressively because I imagine it's not going to have much in the way of head potential. Honestly, that's a lot higher than I was expecting. It formed about a finger of medium to medium dark colored tan head. There is no need in holding this one up to the light because it is absolutely pitch jet black. You cannot see through this one. Smell? Oh man, that kind of reminds me of Oscar Blue's 1050 Imperial Stout. There's just copious amounts of bittersweet chocolate, very sweet chocolate also, a little bit of alcohol, kind of a medicinal herbal note, licorice and anise, light touches of coffee, tons of a medicinal and kind of herbal licorice note, which doesn't sound pleasing, but in this style of beer, it's something that you look for, I think. Touches of vanilla. Man, that smells good. So, lots of bittersweet chocolate, sweet chocolate, licorice, and star anise, an herbal, medicinal kind of smell, and a little bit of coffee and vanilla. It smells fantastic. I cannot wait to try a sip of this. So, without further ado, let's give it a shot. Wow. That's really good. But the main thing is, I'm honestly surprised at how balanced it is at the same time. Man, that's tasty stuff. It's got pretty much everything I just listed. The chocolate is definitely bittersweet. There's definitely a little bit of coffee. little bit of raisin, real big on the licorice. Ends on just a very slightly bitter ending. Has a good amount of sweetness too. That's the main thing. Usually bitterness or sweetness kind of take over and dominate in a really heavy, thick stout. Somehow they have managed to balance the sweetness, the bitterness, and how savory this beer is all in one, and they've done so well while still attaining the high ABV that it carries. That's really tasty stuff. One thing I will say though is, I have had better stouts than this. It's definitely really high up there. It probably would even make it in the top 10 possibly, but I've definitely had better stouts before than this. I think Hoppin' Frog's Boris the Crusher, not even the whiskey barrel aged version because that would be unfair, just the standard Boris the Crusher, their bodacious oatmeal Russian Imperial Stout, I think is a little bit of a step above this. The main thing is that I think is going to stop me from giving this a perfect 100 across the board is the mouthfeel. They use the word viscous multiple times, and they even said this is going to pour like crude oil. And while it is a decently nice and thick, creamy mouthfeel, I've had much thicker before. And the fact that they said it so many times in the commercial description, I think I was expecting just a little bit more as far as the viscosity of it goes. I think it could be a lot better if they somehow did whatever they do to make it a little bit of a thicker beer. All in all, though, it is absolutely fantastic. I'm actually going to give this a 99 out of 100 as far as the style goes. Just because it is so well balanced that it's damn near perfect. If it was for just a little bit of a thicker mouthfeel, I think this would be an ideal, perfect Russian Imperial Stout. As it stands, though, with flavor, it is perfectly balanced. It is very high quality and well made. It just needs to be a little bit thicker. Now, as far as my personal score goes, it gets 100. I think this thing deserves 100 on the enjoyment factor because it is delicious stuff. If you can get your hands on it, definitely get yourself a couple of bottles and set them back to age for a while. Man, my chest is on fire right now. Very warming stuff, but not overly boozy in the taste, which is very impressive for it being 11% alcohol by volume. So, anyway, that has been my review of Stone's legendary Imperial Russian Stout. Hope you guys enjoyed this beer review as always, and stay tuned for the next one.